Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on regular past tense. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade we're doing grade 2, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of regular past tense. All right. So we said that our chapter is regular past tense. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 2. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of regular past tense is to form and use the regular past tense. And this is a continuation of our previous lesson. All right. So when it comes to regular past tense, right? So when you talk about the past, then it tells us about something that happened already, right? That is the past. It tells us about something that has already happened. It's in the past, it is past, right? So it could have been this morning, could have been this afternoon, could have been yesterday, could have been last week. That is in the past, right? And when we talk about regular past tense, then we can say that regular past tense a regular they form basically a rule, right? So they follow a rule by either adding d or they're adding ed to our verb to basically show that the verb is in the past tense, or to show that the sentence is in the past tense. It's to show that something had happened already. So we can say that the past tense, it usually tells us about something that has already happened. And in order for us to form the regular past tense, We need to start with the base form of the verb, so which means that it's either we saying that, so it's either we say, like, for example, kick, right? So when we say, for example, someone kicked the ball, but in the past, so this is the base. This is the base verb. It's a verb on its own. But as soon as we want to show this specific verb, but in the past, then we can add ed to our verb to show that this action is not taking place in the past, or the action took place already. Kicked. So here it says we start with the base form of the verb, and then all we do is we add ed to the base form, and that shows the past tense, right? So instead of saying I kicked the ball now, we can say in the past tense I kicked the ball. I watch a movie now. That is the base form of the verb. But as soon as we want to show that it is in the past, then we say I watched. We add an ed, right? I dance to my favorite song. Dance is our base form of a verb. But if you want to show that we did it in the past, then I danced, right? And yeah, if we look at a few examples, right? It says walk. I walk to school. That is our base form. I walk to school. I walk to school. But yesterday, I walked to school. And as you can see, we basically just added the ed to that verb, or to the base form of that verb, to show the action that took place in the past. And if you look at this, an example sentence, it says, they walked to school last Friday. You see, it shows the action that took place already. They walked to school last Friday. And if the base form of the verb ends with an E, like for example, dance, then all we do is we just add a D to show the past tense form of the verb. For example, bike. I have a bike. But if we want to show the past tense, then we say biked. They biked to school last Friday. They biked to school last Friday. All we did was we added a D to our base form of the verb. All right, so now we're going to look at the sentence, right? And we're going to change these words in brackets to the past tense form of the verbs. To show the past tense form of the verbs. So this sentence is in the present tense, but we need to write the sentence in the past tense by changing these three words: move, line, tease. We need to show that these words are now in the past. All right. So now if we look at these sentences, right? It says Julia and Brenna move to Springton. Julia and Brenna move to Springton. We need to change that word move to the past tense. Remember, we said that if we want to show the past tense, we either add D or we add an ED to a word in order to show the past tense form of that verb. And if we were to show the past tense form of the word move, right, then we can say Julia and Brenna moved to Springton, but in the past we can say Julia and Brenna moved to Springton. So now they move because it's in the present, but in the past they moved. And as you can see, we just added a D to that word because the word already ended with an E. All right. If you look at the next one say the teachers line up the children. So the teachers line up the children. We need to change that word line, this word line, to the past tense form. So today we can say the teachers line up the children, but yesterday, which is in the past, we can say the teacher of the children. And we can say the teachers lined up the children. And we just add D because the word already ends with an E. Lined up. And the last one says Erin and Sandra. Erin and Sandra tease the uncle. So Erin and Sandra tease the uncle. We need to change that word tease to the past tense. So Erin and Sandra tease the uncle. But in the past, how are we going to write it in the past? And if we were to write that in the past tense, then we can say Erin and Sandra teased their uncle. Teased. So it means that we change now that word from the present tense to the past tense by adding a D to a verb to show the past tense form of that word. All right. So once again, we said that when it comes to our regular past tense, then it usually our regular past tense, it usually tells us about something that has already happened. And in order for us to form the regular past tense, we need to start with the base form of the word. For example, watch, jump, tease, move, line, kick, dance. That is the base form. All right. So now we're going to a plus students.ca, and we're going to form and use the regular past tense, and then we're going on to our test. Right? And we said that in the past tense usually tells about something that has already happened. And we basically need to add a D or an ED to the base form of our regular past tense or verb to show basically that the verb is not in the past tense, or that word or the sentence is in the past. All right. So now we're going to look at a few examples of sentences, and then we're going on to our test. It says we need to complete the sentence with the verb in the past tense. Remember, we are either adding a D or we're adding an ED to the word in bracket. It says the girls visit Aunt Emily and Uncle Colin. The girls visit Aunt Emily and Uncle Colin. So the girls visit Aunt Emily and Uncle Colin. We need to change that word in bracket visit to the past tense. Visit to the past tense. All right, so visit, and if we were to write visit in the past tense, then we can say the girls visited Aunt Emily and Uncle Colin. Visited. All we did was we added an ed to that word to show the past tense form. The next one says, we pile up our dirty clothes. We pile up our dirty clothes. So pile, we pile up our daily clothes. In the past, we up our dirty clothes. Pile. What is pile in the past? And if we were to choose the past tense form of the word pile, then we can say that we piled. And we only add a D because the word already ends in E. So we pile up our dirty clothes. Pile. Yes, and the last one, and then we're going to our test. I button up my winter coat. I button up my winter coat. So I button, and if we were to write that word in the past tense, all right, and we said that button, and in the past we say it is buttoned. Because all we do is we add an ed to that word, buttoned, to show the past tense. All right, so now we're going on to our test, where we need to say, and we basically have to form and use the regular past tense. It says we need to complete the sentence with the verb in the past tense. The dogs bark at the bird outside. So, dog. All right. So now it says the dogs bark at the birds outside. So the word bark, if we were to write it in the past tense, is it barks option one or barked option two? All right. And if we were to show bark in the past tense, something that happened already, then we will choose option two. Barked at the birds outside. Barked. Well done. The next one says the men start the end race, the race cars, sorry. Or do we say the men? All right. So if we were to choose the word start in the past tense, then we can say started. All we do is we add an ed. All right. So the teachers line up the children. We need to say what is line in the past tense. Is it lines or lined? Yes, well done. And if we were to choose the correct option, then yes, we can say the teachers lined. Well done. We just added D or ED. Lined up the children. Well done. All right. The next one says the children seem happy. Seem happy. All right. All right, if we look at the sentence here, we need to complete the sentence with the verb in the past tense. The children, do we say seems happy or do we say the children seemed happy? This is the last one. Yes, and if we were to choose the correct answer, we will say seemed. Well done. And seemed is correct. All right. So this is basically the end of our lesson on regular past tense. We said when we have our verb in the regular past tense, then it means that our wording changes, like the form of the verb changes. All we do is we add a D or we add an ed to our verb to change the verb from the present tense to the past tense to show that something had happened in the past. So this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much everybody for joining, and I really hope that you're going to have a good day further. So till next time, goodbye.